Hey, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. We're about to do our partner class today, and had a request from Adam Chan about perhaps doing a video about how to lead your partner when you're doing free hands or push hands into a weak position. Now, I'm not an expert at this. To me, push hands is just like one more training game. This is my little partner work class here, so I'm just telling them and you what we're doing. Push hands is just one training game. It's one of many. And I don't put that much stock in it like it's the be-all, end-all of Tai Chi and you compete and whoever wins in a push hands mouth, their Tai Chi is better. That's not really, to me pushing hands is just a training game about feeling balance and trying to upset someone else's balance while they're trying to upset yours. So there's three big categories of how to lead someone off into a weak position that I'm going to talk about today. Three basic categories, and I'm sure there's other ones, but these are the three that I focus on the most when I'm doing this training game, okay? Number one, Neil's going to be a little bit aggressive with me. I'm going to be on the defensive. Number one is we're doing our free hands. We're feeling into each other and trying to find each other's center and balance and stuff, and looking to off-balance each other, you know, looking to make each other stumble and stuff. And the first method is you let them in. You provide an opening and you let them in. And when you let them in, back up a little, when you let them in, you yield, which means everything goes soft that they're touching. You let them in as far as you possibly can, and then you adjust your position, and then you come in with something else. And that adjusting position can be moving feet, which is illegal in tournaments, or that adjusting position can just be yield, and pull, push, and I haven't moved my feet, right? So what you're doing is you're presenting something and just melting when they push it. And you see if you can get them to overcommit a little bit, just like that. So when we do this one, if you're the partner who's being the pusher to the person who's yielding and trying to just snake away, lead them into a hole kind of. If you're the person who's pushing, be a little extra committed just to give them something to work with. Don't be super cautious. In other words, if Neil's doing that, when I push him, I'm going to be a little bit, I'm just going to give him a little something to work with. I'm not going to be like, trying to bounce him around and do that. I'm going to purposely give him a little bit of extra so that he can work on just yielding and just finding his way to a strong position and let me fall into a hole and lead him. The other two are to get your partner to go into the future or into the past and avoid the present. So the first one would be to get him in the future. And what that means is to make him think something's going to happen and get him to make an adjustment based on the future, and all of a sudden it doesn't happen. So he's in the future, which is a bad position to be in because there's only the present, right? So from here, it's like I may set myself up like I'm going to push him, and he may brace himself against that push, or he may push back, like I'm, and then, right? And then I get him to do something else. So in that one, I get him to think I'm about to do something, and then he hunkers and then, boom, then I can go push. Because when he's solid, I've got all of his physics lined up. Or another one is if you do that to me, fake like you're going to push it, just come in like you're coiled, like you're just about to push. And I do this, and then you vanish. And I've left my center and reached too far forward. So he's trying to get me to think, oh, this is going to happen, and then I do it, right? So now to go the other direction, to where I want to get him in the past, I'm going to engage him and get him to think that this is going to continue, and then all of a sudden it doesn't continue. So he's still doing what he was doing before, and then it stops and he falls into the hole. So with that one, I usually kind of engage a little more tight and then relax. Maybe I get it, maybe I don't. So again, I'll be the pusher. So I'm pushing you, so engage me, get me going a little bit. Now disappear. And then so you do something, and you get them to think you're going to keep doing it. And then all of a sudden you don't keep doing it, and they're still in the past doing the thing that they... Like, here's a great example. You grab hard, and I go like that. Why is he holding on to this hand? Because he's still in the past. In the past, that mattered. As soon as I do that doesn't... Yeah, you should let go. So if I'm grabbing you, and you do that, just grab one of my wrists with the other one, then now we're even. But if I keep holding on, but most people will keep holding on for just that second because you're like, I still got something. So that's getting them in the past. So you want to trick them into the past, trick them into the future, or trick them into a place where they feel confident but they're not. So the first one involves yielding, slow push please, yielding, softening, relaxing, going as far out as you can go maybe, and then coming in with something. The second one involves setting them up for something that doesn't happen. The third one is setting them up like something's going to happen, that's going to keep happening, but then it doesn't. So those are the three things that I like to use. All of them are hard to do in real time and real speed with a really charged or trained opponent, especially if you're both trying to do the exercise. So decide who's doing the exercise. Let's say Neil's doing the exercise. He's going to work on yielding and softening and just sneaking me into a hole where I'm in a weak position. I'm going to be the person who's pushing, okay? So he's doing that. So I'm going to push with a little extra conviction. I'm going to push with a little extra oomph. Yes. And let him do that. So resetting. I'm going to be pushing, trying to find something, and so I'm gonna give him a little extra to work with. Or if we decide, Neil, you're going to try to engage me and keep me into something and then change it. So I'll be in the past. So I'll keep pushing, and when he stops, I'm going to give him a little something to work with. And we'll go back and forth with all three. So all three, you'll each try both sides of all three, and then we'll just forget about that. Then we'll just play and forget about that and do free hands and see if one of them pops into your head. Because if you're too calculated about it, it's easy to read it. The other person can feel you doing it. So I'm not going to be like, I'm going to try to do this. You know, it's like, I just want to be pushing and notice what happens. We're just doing free hands. All of a sudden I notice, oh, yeah, he thinks he's got me there. That's cool. And then I can do something there. So you want it to just appear spontaneously in your play once you get going. But it helps to artificially separate them into little exercises that you can do to learn about each one. So we'll get a taste of each one, and then we'll just play. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this kind of thing. Visit Burnett.com. Practice soft and have a great day. So here they are working on the first one, which is to completely yield. In a way, this one is getting them in the future, because you completely yield so that the other person feels like nothing's being done to them. Everything feels great. And then at the last minute, you convert and reverse the situation. So these guys are doing it too. So someone's the yielder. Lighting is a little weird here, but I'll try and get over here. No, you're good. So someone is the yielder, and you do not resist what your partner's doing. Do not resist it. Let it take you to right to the edge of the plank. And then you convert at the last minute. So you just lead them down the path, make them think everything's going great. This is going great, and then all of a sudden it's not going great. That's a good view. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to resist anything they're doing. Make them feel like everything is going great. You are awesome, exactly. Let them have what they want and lure them into a place that you want them to be. Now you guys are having too much fun. Oh my God, he's pushing her off the cliff. She's pushing her off the cliff.
That's her fit. I'm the road runner.
Stand your ground a little bit more. Don't move your feet so quickly. It just ends up being milling around. Like, stand your ground a little bit. Play the game a little bit. And then yield. Yeah, don't resist in any way. Yeah, exactly. Make them feel like everything's going great, and then add something at the last minute. So, Robin, completely yield to one of these pushes and stop walking towards me. Completely yield and then stop. Stop. Now, just turn your body to the right and shoulder strike her right down the middle. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No. You had a wide open stroll right through the center of her house. She yields. Now, right there. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, so yield to the push. Let it go through you. Now. Boom. Yeah, see? You led her down the path to a bad place. Okay, now they're doing the second one. So engage them. They're trying to engage the partner a little bit, make them feel like something's going to continue, and then stop doing it. Samara, try pushing Robin from one shoulder. Like, put your hand on her shoulder and push her to the side, sideways. And Robin, just resist a little bit. And then Samara, take that then take it away. So just a little pressure to the side and then take it away. You don't get what I'm saying. Push to the side and then take it away.
Yes, I'm pushing to the side.
Now take it away and
Good.
then
That kind of
and then that was good. That worked. When she does that, if you push to the side and then you go away, she starts to go. Then get her from the other side.
Oh, thanks a lot.
So you get her to resist what you're doing and then remove it. There you go. So get him to resist what you're doing and get him to hunker down like it's going to continue, and then give it up.
That is actually, because I almost have to look.
So get him to think that something's going to continue. And if you're the pusher, you know, overcommit a little bit. Push a little bit too much. Give him the sense that something's going to continue. I can't tell who's doing what here, but it does look good. Who's the pusher?
I'm the pusher.
Okay. So Neil, try to engage him and then disappear.
That's cool, that little lift and then...
Alright. Okay, so they're still doing that same one, except I just gave them a little bit of instruction about how to do this.
Taking me out.
Right.
All right.
So the pusher has to really be willing to lose. You know, they're giving it up a little bit too much. They want to give it up a little too much. The other person is going to kind of, you know, give them a certain kind of resistance.
I'm not resisting still. I'm not setting her up to keep committing to a struggle.
Yeah, and then you take it away. Yeah, if you're engaging her, if you're the pusher, well, who's the pusher?
She's the pusher.
Okay, if she's the overcommitter, she's going to be pushing with a little overcommitment. You're going to engage her and resist her and get her to think that you're going to resist this, and then she'll push a little extra hard, and then you disappear. And Robin, you have to, you have to be willing to be more, you have to be more willing to lose. Yeah. You know, be a good uke, you know, be willing to lose.
I only know how to fall.
You can do that.
So the pusher overcommits a little bit, and the other person deliberately engages them and then tries to take it away. Try to use stealth. Don't use muscle. Just add a little pressure, and then when you feel them building up, release. This isn't easy. This isn't easy for either side to do.
That one's good from the side. Oh, nice.
A little closer than that.
Rolling.
Okay, so what I want to do, we're still doing the same one. What I want to do, if I'm the person who's going to be doing the exercise, trying to get him in a bad position, he's going to be the overcommitter. I said the pusher, maybe the overcommitter is better. What I want to do is I want to give him some, I'm giving him some pressure to make him hunker down and feel like something's happening. When I feel him resisting too much, that's when I take it away. Like not before, right? Make sure you engage that response and then you take it away and do something, right? So you're working on him and then you go, here comes a push here, he's going to resist that push. And then you take it. Now you're too defensive. Don't be so defensive. So the person who's the overcommitter, that's John. You want to allow yourself to overcommit and then allow yourself to be pushed. Just to give the person a sense of what this is like to get somebody, to trick somebody this way. So if I'm the overcommitting person and he's doing it, he's going to get me to engage something, and when he does, I'm going to overcommit, and then when he does that, I'm going to push it. Just to give him something to work with, you know? Otherwise, if we're too defensive and we do it too fast, we just end up grappling and bouncing around, which is a different exercise. Got a little sense of that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There was a moment of, what?
They're just trying to see what occurs to them naturally, not trying to be too calculated. Just playing the free hands game, and then periodically noticing, if they can lure their partner into the future, into the past, or into a bad position.
your summer attitude. I can tell it's cute. It's good. Good for you. Makes me really happy to see.
So just do the free hands, just relax, and notice what happens. See if you can notice one of these three things happening.
Oh, yeah.
Can you yield? Can you yield into a good position, or can you get them to trick them into the future or trick them into the past? And if you just do free hands, do free hands. Don't contrive this too much. Don't contrive it too much. Don't tense up too much. Just relax, do the game, see what you notice. Realistically, when I'm doing free hands, I do this every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while, it just occurs to me that this person's really overcommitting to this, that they really think I'm going to keep doing this, so I stop. Or, boy, I can feel them really jump the gun on when I set up in this way, so I'm going to set up and not do it. Or I feel like, oh, they're really kind of coming at me a little strong. I can use this to lead them by yielding into a bad place. So I do it every once in a while. We're kind of shaking this up and making it harder in some ways by doing it every time. But you got to get a little bit of a magnifying glass on it so that then when you go to more spontaneous play, it'll just happen now and then. They're laughing because they're thinking, I saw you see me, saw you think about doing that. The cool thing about push hands is it doesn't matter what exercise you're doing. It's like being in a swimming pool. You know, you're going to get wet no matter what you do. And if you're in the push hands pool, your balance is going to get challenged, and it's going to get a little better no matter what you do, just by virtue of having someone trying to upset it.
We're way too in tune with each other.
Okay, our little postscript is over. This is them working on what we talked about earlier. Once again, if you like my stuff, come subscribe to my YouTube channel, visit my website, Burnett.com, and have a nice day. We will continue. I'm the person who's doing it. I'm going to come in just like I'm going to do something, but I'm not. I'm just going to send all the signals like I'm going to push him, but I'm not pushing. So when I feel him commit to the response, that's when I can push him. Or that's when he'll fall into the hole. So if you're doing that to me, John, load up like you're going to push me, and then yeah, exactly. I did my part really well, and so did he. What I want to do as the overcommitter is when I feel him do that, I want to brace myself for that, and when he goes away, you know, but that time he actually did it. That was more the other exercise. Act like you're going to do it. No, you're doing something. Don't do anything. Just set it up like you're going to. Okay. Yeah. So we're fooling around, and I see him set up, and I go, oh, resist, and then I get pushed. That was a good one, you see? So it's a little subtle, but one person is trained to overcommit. I'm going to overcommit. So when I feel him settle in to go, I'm going to, and then I'm screwed up, right? So if I'm doing it to him, and he's the overcommitter, when I go, he goes in like I'm going to do it, but I haven't done it yet, see? I've got all my strength and all my position ready. So you're trying to lure them into the future, right? Like if you say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4's next. 4 doesn't come, and they go to 4, and then you're right. Make sense? Right? So the other one, you do something and get them to think it's going to continue. On this one, you set something up like it's going to happen and get them to think that it's going to, but it isn't. Hope that's clear.
Yes.
Okay. Try it. It's rolling. Okay, so John came up with a good one on this regard. So what he's going to do is he's going to give me a little teeny bump, just a little bump, and then I brace and then I get pushed because I'm thinking, oh, that's going to continue. So when he gives me that little bump, I think, oh, another one's coming, but it's too late, right? So he's got me to react. Maybe that's the other one. Maybe that gets me in the past. This gets a little blurry. Sometimes it's the past, sometimes it's the future. But you want to get the person somewhere other than now. So he's doing his thing. I'm overcommitting. See? So
yeah, you're in the past.
The uke overcommits in this case, and the person who's working on it is, I'm gonna, like, if he's gonna overcommit, I'm gonna give him a signal, and he's gonna go for it. Right? This is a good one to do in demonstrations, right? You say to somebody, you get the biggest guy out of the audience, right? And you say, okay, I'm gonna make you move without touching him. going to give you a chi punch that's going to blast you off your feet. So first I'm going to show you what that feels like physically, the physical world, right? So set yourself. Okay? Come back again. Now I'm going to do a really hard one, right? So I go boom! Boom! No, 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 no! Set yourself. Set yourself. Almost! So you just go, and most people, you know, who don't know this is coming, like you give me a big push here, right? Oh shit! And then you go, okay. And you do that again. And then you do it like you're going to do the biggest one, and then don't. No, you still did it. Don't do anything. So you're going to go. And I go. 9 times out of 10, some big strong guy will fall in your lap, and you just go like this, like it's your chi, and they go. Because what happens is, when they go to put, when you set them up, when you do the big push, right? Set it up, but don't do it. Shit, nobody could do this.
You've trained us too well.
So I'll be the big guy. So you give me a big shove. Boom. Now just walk up and go, but don't do anything. Set it up like you're gonna, and I'll go. That's when you go. I've got you into my magnetic chi field. But if you can get them to set up like it's gonna happen, and then you go, and you don't do anything. And if they feel that coming, they'll just go right into the future. These guys are too good. I can't get them to go in the future. Okay, continue. Now they're just doing free hands, gentle free hands, and just seeing if any of these tactics comes to mind. So maybe they yield until the other person is in a bad position. Or maybe they notice that their partner's resisting a little bit too much what they're doing, and then they change it so that they stay stuck in the past. Or maybe they notice that if they set up in a certain way, their partner overreacts and they get it in the future. So they're just trying to see if anything spontaneously occurs. The problem is that these guys are so defensive and careful, and they know how to keep from being pushed, that once they feel like someone's going to try to trick them, they try to outsmart the trick. So you have to take that into account. When they know you're trying to trick them, you have to be sneakier.